Hey everybody, Seth with Everyman Prepping here. How's everybody doing today? I want to talk to you today about Russia, their new threats, how they're ramping up, what they mean, what they could mean. We're also going to hit some stories, in this very short news cycle we have every day with new stuff coming up. We're going to hit some very important things I want to talk to you about that I think are very important. Ending with the end of the video, we're going to talk about all this new bird flu pandemic-y thing that is going off. But first, we're going to hit Russia, the threats. What are they talking about? Putin just said the United States is an enemy of Russia. First time using the word enemy, it happened a few days ago. Now they're ramping up the talk with, well, they're going to start their own proxy war against the U.S., basically. The United States, Russia came out and Putin saying, you're basically fighting Russia. You're fighting us through a third party, through Ukraine. And you're doing that, so you know what? We're going to do the same. We're going to start fighting you through third parties as well. And I want to take you through how Dmitry Medvedev put that basically into words. What he did basically is he put out a Telegram post earlier with concerning the subject, and then he did an X post to follow up. As you can see here, this is the X post, and they're a little different actually. You're going to see, I'm going to point out, I think his X post, if he put it up, or I don't know if he has a social media team, but it's a little more watered down. In fact, it's one less paragraph. We see 3 paragraphs here, and then if we go to, this is a translated version that I took a snapshot of. It's 4 paragraphs. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs on the Telegram post, and it's a little more direct, a little more poignant. I think people are thinking Telegram. Dmitry put about what he was really thinking, and on X he kind of put more for the masses, watered down a little bit. The first thing you'll notice is he says, yesterday the president of Russia for the first time ever acknowledged the possibility of sending our weapons to the regions that fight against the states, meaning the United States, that provide arms to Ukraine. All right, that's what he says here. Over here he said, yesterday the president of Russia for the first time allowed. So he went from possible, we went from possibility. In the Telegram, he said the first time allowed the sending of our weapons to regions that are at war with the states that supply weapons to Ukraine. Or rather, these weapons that are used throughout our country. In other words, those forces that are in conflict with America and NATO countries. So that basically sums right there, is that Russia is going to start supplying weapons to anybody that's an enemy of the United States or NATO, or we don't have no one at war with us, but could be someone that wants to get back at us. Could be some of those those groups of the United States that might be a little asleep right now, but might wake up once they get some of these weapons and might do some stuff. You know what I'm getting at there. Well, let's continue with what Medvedev is saying here. He says, this is a very significant change in our foreign policy. After all, he says the Yankees here, and he used a different one in the other ones, but the Yankees and their European slobbering dogs argue, we have the right to transfer any weapons to Ukraine, and all the countries cannot help Russia. I pointed that out. The mainstream media will be like, oh, China is sending weapons to Russia. Oh, North Korea provided some missiles. So, he's basically saying the same thing. He said, all the countries cannot help Russia. In other words, we will destroy you in every possible way, but no one dares to supply Russia with weapons, equipment, or other property to defend the country. So basically reiterating what is blatant is the United States says, we're going to give everything plus NATO to Ukraine, but no one better help Russia. So he's pointing that out. He's acknowledging that. And then he goes on to say, let the United States and its allies now feel direct use of Russian weapons by third parties. So he's basically calling it out. We're starting a proxy war against the United States. He said, let them feel the direct use of our weapons through a third party, which is a proxy. Now, this is very important. That's why I highlighted it here in yellow. These individuals or regions are deliberately not named, but they can involve anyone who considers, you can see the word he used, Pedostan and its comrades, their enemies. Instead of Peter in the, well, we'll get to that. In the X post, he said, what did he put for that word instead? Where did he put? He left, he called them Yankees down here. So, anyway, use that word. So, but the important thing is he said individuals or regions, and could be anyone. So, individuals, like I said, could be those groups of sleeping people that might wake up. Could be terrorists. Could be, well, like it says, anyone in the second sense. For regions, are we talking Africa? Are we talking Iran? Are we talking North Korea? Are we talking South America? Who knows? But he's basically leaving it open. We're going to supply weapons to anyone that's an enemy of the United States. It says, regardless of their political beliefs and international recognition, their enemy is the United States, which means they are our friends. The old the enemy, my enemy is my friend kind of thing or whatever. They're basically saying if you're an enemy of the United States, you're our friend and we're going to hook you up with weapons. And then he goes on to say, and let the use of Russian weapons by yet to be named regions be as destructive as possible for their and our adversaries. Now this is the last paragraph. This is the paragraph that wasn't, I should go back and say it. This is the paragraph that wasn't included in the X post. He basically ended up here, their enemy is the United States, and that means to us they are friends. That's where he ended on X. Telegram is this last post where he starts talking about the destruction of the United States. He says they want the weapons to be as destructive as possible for our adversaries. And then he says, and let, quote, sensitive objects of the states, meaning the United States, supplying weapons and NATO to Kiev burn in hellish flames. So, destructive if possible. We going all the way up to nuclear? I don't know. Chemical, biological. You know, he's saying let them be as destructive as possible. And then he says sensitive objects. Probably a translation thing. I don't know if he means key sites, key military bases, key cities, key labs. Whatever sensitive object is, you know, key infrastructure, you know, whether it be financial, who knows. They burn together with those who control them. And we will rejoice at their successful strikes with our weapons against our common enemies. So there you go. They're basically laying out saying, watch out. Do we need to watch out here at home? I believe you do. You need to always have your head on a swivel. Keep your ear to the ground. Listen for things. Look for stuff. What's going to happen? This is a direct threat to the United States, to the homeland here. I think, you know, Russia's at that breaking point. They're at that point where, like, we've had enough. We're going to do the same to you what you've been doing to us. You know, an eye for an eye, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, we need to watch out for this. Not to scare everybody, but you need to have your situational awareness around you. You need to pay attention. You know, just keep your head up looking for things that might be strange because who knows what's going to happen with this. Are they going to bluff? Is this a bluff? Are they going to really supply weapons to individuals or countries? Who knows? They say they're going to do that, though. So let's move on from there because that's pretty intense right there with what they're saying, what they're going. So digest that, read it a few times if you want, play it again, but check that out. Now, let's go on to other stuff that happened today. And then we have Ice Cream Grandpa here that, as you've seen probably this morning, looks like he's taking a poop, basically. Put in any other words. He's over there celebrating the D-Day remembrance. He's with Macron here from France. He shook his hand, bent over like a 3-year-old, and probably pooped his pants. So there's our fearless leader. Just thought everybody should see that because, well, that's the state the United States is in right now. Now, there's also an ABC interview with Biden saying, well, we're going to let them use our weapons in Russia for only 200 miles. By the way, how crazy is that? If you're Putin, they're like, the United States just said that the weapons they gave this country can, you know, destroy anything within 200 miles of the border of Ukraine. Okay, can Russia give Cuba missiles and say, only shoot within the first 200 miles of the United States? That's how crazy that thought is. But that's what Biden said. Now, this is the little map I did so we can see, you know, this is the most northern part of Ukraine. Here's Kyiv right here. 200 miles doesn't get you to Moscow. You see here, it says 284, but 200, 284, that's pretty close. You know, will they try to hit Moscow? Who knows? But if you take this 200 miles all the way around, there's key airports, nuclear sites, nuclear reactors, bunkers. There's a lot of stuff, big cities within that 200 miles of the border. So that's a pretty huge threat on Biden's part, and probably why Putin and Russia are putting out their threat about, well, supplying weapons to individuals that are going to hurt the United States. So that's where we're at, basically. It's heating up, folks. And, of course, we're going to heat it more. France will transfer five fighter jets. Means nothing. They're going to have to fly more, but this is like a token thing. But 5 of their Mirage planes to Ukraine, and we'll train pilots to use them. So not only do we have F-16s, but we got the French Mirage planes going. And then, just as a throwaway sentence at the end here, France also intends to prepare a Ukrainian brigade of 4,500 people, not soldiers, it says people, to train and arm it. All right, here's the thing. Ukraine's been at war for a couple years. They're pretty war-hardened. They know how to fight. They know what's going on. They know about this drone war. They're pretty tough people. They've been dying. They know about war. France hasn't been in a war in who knows what, since World War II. I don't know if they've fired a shot in anger since then, really. I'm sure someone in the comments will correct me, but let's just say World War II, they really haven't done much. I don't know if they did anything in Vietnam, Korea, whatever. Anyway, What is France going to train the Ukrainians on that the Ukrainians couldn't train better since they have direct knowledge of what's going on in the intense conflict right now? Maybe these are going to be French soldiers trained up to go into fight. It just says prepare a Ukrainian brigade. Well, it could be French soldiers, French mercenaries that they then rename a Ukrainian brigade. I wouldn't put it past them. So I don't think the French are going to train Ukrainians. I think NATO forces are going to be trained by Ukrainians and go in there. So that's what we have there. That's kind of what I mentioned up here in my statement above. What else do we have? Oh, yeah. Chinese rocket launches 3 satellites into orbit. Every week this happens. Like I said, 2, 3 satellites go up. We got 3 more. Are they really satellites? Yeah, who knows? Are they EMP devices? Are they satellite nukes to take out other satellites? I would say they're probably everything. Who knows? Spy satellites, nukes, EMPs. But every week you can count, I would say almost every week you can count on China putting up 2 or 3 more satellites. And I don't think it's all peaceful. So something else you probably aren't hearing of, but that's going on every week. All right, what do we got here? Oh, yeah, you probably heard that, we'll look at this picture, that Biden put out an executive order saying, we're going to close the border. When the surge gets so high, 2,000, 3,000, we're going to close that border. Of course, it's election year, that's why he's saying that. But this guy's saying it's basically having no effect. It says, yesterday was the full day of President Biden's executive order, barring asylum to most illegals crossing. He said, but it's not working. Because they apprehended 4,000 illegals just yesterday. That's about equal to what's been happening every day. By the way, that's every day. Think about that. 4,000 a day. Tucson and San Diego topped it off with about 1,100 each. Those are, people that they caught. It says right here, not counting gotaways. What's that mean? People that have been caught. Who was the figure? Double, triple? Who knows? But if you're having 5,500 a day total come across every day, 15,000 a month, 12 year, 180 some thousand a year or more, probably a lot more, probably triple that. Who knows? So that executive order is just a voting scheme, probably never be enforced. So don't think that the border's closed now and we're all secure because, by the way, what country can withstand 5,000 illegal immigrants coming every day? Who can withstand that? Who can hold that up? No country can withstand that. All right, what do we have now? We have dozens. Let's get into the bird flu thing. We know the guy in Mexico died of an H5N2. I don't know why they called it N2 as N1. Should check that out. If you know, put it in the comments below. But dozens of dairy cows infected with H5N1 bird flu have died or slaughtered because they failed to recover. This is the first time deaths have been reported in cows, according to Reuters, which has been found in deaths in at least 5 states. You're going to see more and more of this. More mainstream media pointing out, hey, cows are dying, pigs are dying, cats are dying, everybody's dying. Bird flu outbreak reported in Minnesota dairy herd. The Minnesota Board of Animal Health said the affected herd was more than 40,000 cows with sign of fever. All right, it keeps going on. You'll see the other down the bottom. The other states that report infections include Idaho, Colorado, South Dakota, Kansas, New Mexico, Texas, Michigan, Ohio, Iowa, and North Carolina. So what do we have? We have the ramping up of another pandemic-y thing going on. We've had the first gentleman in Mexico die from it. Said had no contact. He had other complications. So was it a died with or died from thing? I don't know. Doesn't matter. They're going to push it. We've kind of all been through this before. You got Moderna, Pfizer already looking at a new mRNA magic potion to fix this problem. So it's election year coming up, and if you need to stay at home because there's bird flu is out there killing everything, then we can just vote by mail, and we know how that went last time in 2020. So this is going to ramp up. Pretty soon they might say, once we told you control the food, control the people. So we're going to say we got to kill all the cows, we got to kill the chickens. Let's go ahead and kill the pigs while we're at it, and it's probably going to enter the fish or something. So let's kill all the fish. Anybody eats that, and then we'll just have everybody have to be vegetarian and eat bugs. Okay, we might go as far as that. I don't know. We'll see where this goes, but it's definitely ramping up. You're seeing more and more stories. It's going to start slowly, saying no big deal. Then it's going to get in the animals. We've got to kill all the animals. Then we kind of know what happened from last time, and everybody's going to have to make the decision again about the magic potion and what they want to do with their medical intervention. So, a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, it's a pretty intense period in the world. You got the threats from Moscow and Russia directly at the United States now. The pandemic new thing coming up. financial crisis, a lot of stuff happening. So I know it's a lot to take in. Try to keep you guys apprised of it. If it's too overwhelming, too much, just take this information, know what's happening, and then take care of what you need to take care of your house for you and yourself and your family to get self-sustained as much as you can. Like I said, if they can try to control the food, have your own food, have your own backup. Most important thing, have water or something like that. That's if they go for the old lockdown thing, you're going to want to be able to, when that happens, when someone sees something like that happen, you're going to want to be able to say, I don't need to go out. I'm good. I'm at home. I have everything. Same with Russia. If they go tactical nuke, which some people might think because of what they're ramping up, and you wake up one morning and a NATO base has been tactically nuked or a part of Ukraine, you want to be the people that can stay home and are confident in what you have, as opposed to the crazy people running to the store to buy everything in sight because they think Armageddon's coming. So put any comment you have down below on the video, any questions you might have, anything else. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, keep your ear to the ground and head on a swivel.